Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from KBA2492B. Alright, today we are going to present about synopsis of our study, which is the analysis of company for heavier board Berhad based on its ratio. Okay, before we start, let me introduce ourselves first. My name is Nur Shifa binti Abdul Halim Kanga.
My name is Muhammad Nazirul Hakim bin Muhammad Fazil.
My name is Taufik Hidayat bin Abu Talib.
My name is Nur Shafika binti Cik Selimi.
Okay, the purpose of this study is to analyze the income statement and profit and loss of heavier board Berhad by using the ratios method and analysis that we had learned in the chapter 2 for the code FIN430, which is the introduction to corporate finance. Okay, the main body of this report is to make a comparison of the year 2020 with 2019 of the company's ratio, including their liquidity, leverage, profitability, efficiency, and also market ratios, and we analyze it. After that, we observe what is the problem that company face, and we come out with the suggestion on how that they can overcome the obstacle. Okay, so here is a short introduction of our company. Our company's name is Heavier Board Berhad, whereby their activities is manufactured, trade and distribute the partial board and partial board based goods with the help of its subsidiaries. Okay, Heavier Board is the market leader in partial board, whereby it is a reconstituted wood panel made from rubber wood residues, while its subsidiaries are active in downstream part of partial board base, which means ready to assemble furniture manufacturing, as well as partial board and wood panel related to trading and distribution.
Assalamualaikum. I will explain about analysis ratio, which is liquidity ratio. Firstly, the current ratio of the company in year 2020 is 6.32 times, which is higher than current ratio in year 2019, which is 2.35 times. This indicates that the company has higher potential to satisfy the short-term obligation and will not have difficulty paying its current liabilities when the need arises. Next, the quick ratio for the company in year 2020, which is 5.46 times, is higher than quick ratio in year 2019, which is 1.7 times. This indicates that when the need arises, the company will find it easily to pay its current liabilities. Lastly, the net working capital ratio of the company in year 2020 is RM 74,772,000, higher than year 2019, which is 66,814,000. This shows that the company has higher ability to pay their short-term obligation on time in year 2020 compared to year 2019. Next, I will explain about analysis of activity ratio. Firstly, the inventory turnover of the company in year 2020 is 4.0 times, which is lower than year 2019, which is 5.63 times. It indicates that the company is unable to utilize their inventory to generate sales in year 2020 compared to year 2019. Secondly, the average collection period of the company in year 2020 also inefficient to collect back their debt because they took longer time to collect back the debts from the customer compared to year 2019. It is because the average collection period for the company in year 2020 is 234 days compared to year 2019, which is 160 days. Thirdly, the account receivable turnover ratio of the company in year 2020 is lower than the year 2019, which is account receivable turnover in year 2020 is 6.09 times, while in year 2019 is 8.95 times. The decrease show the company was ineffective effectiveness in collecting receivable. Next, the fixed asset turnover ratio of the company in year 2020 is 0.85 times, which is lower than year 2019, which is 0.92 times. It indicates that the company is unable to utilize their fixed asset to generate sale in year 2020 compared to year 2019. Lastly, the total asset turnover ratio of the company in year 2020 is 0.5 times, which is lower than in year 2019, which is 0.6 times. It indicates that the company do not use efficiently the total assets in generating sale in year 2020. Now, I will explain about analysis of leverage ratio. Firstly, the debt ratio for the company in year 2020 is 13.63%, and it is lower than 2019, which is 15.010%. This indicates that the company have less debt in year 2020 compared to year 2019, and it is less risky since the debt level is smaller. Secondly, the debt to equity ratio for the company in year 2020, which is 15.78%, is lower than year 2019, which is 17.79%. The company's performance is satisfactory because the company used more equity and less borrowing as the sources of financing and operation. Lastly, the time interest earned for the company in year 2020 is 104.4 times, and it is higher than year 2019, which is 36.59 times. It shows that the company have greater ability to make a contractual interest payment and to pay interest charge out of operating profits. Okay, now I will explain about the analysis of profitability ratio. Firstly, the gross profit margin of the company in year 2020 is 11.91%, higher than year 2019, which is 8.50%. High gross profit margin indicate that there is high contribution margin in year 2020. Secondly, the operating profit margin of the company in year 2020 is 8.38%, higher than year 2019, which is 4.9%. This indicates that the company is efficient in controlling its operating expenses, which basically refer to the administrative and selling expenses. Thirdly, the net profit margin of the company in year 2020 is 8.25%, higher than year 2019, which is 3.5%. This indicates the firm is efficiency in controlling its operating and financial expenses. Next, return on asset for the company in year 2020 is 4.39% higher than year 2019, which is 2.09%. It indicates that there is higher return on firm investment in year 2020. Lastly, return on equity of the company in year 2020 is 5.09%, which is higher than year 2019, which is 2.46%. This indicates the common stockholder earn high return from their investment in year 2020 compared to 2019. Lastly, I will explain about the analysis of market ratio. Firstly, the price earning ratio of the company in year 2020 is RM9.79, lower than year 2019, which RM11.04. It shows that in the year 2020, the investor will pay RM9.79 for a unit of earning, while in year 2019, the investor will pay RM11.04 for a unit of earnings. Secondly, the earning per share of the company in year 2020 is RM9, higher than year 2019, which is 4 cents. The earning per share show that the money that the company make for each share of the stock in the year 2020 is RM9 cent, while in the year 2019, the money that the company make for each share of its stock is RM4 cent.
Here we are going to discuss about the company problem in 2020, which are the activity ratio and market ratio. First, for the activity ratio, the inventory turnover was lower than the previous year, which signifies to the poor sales and excess inventory. Thus, the firm may have too much inventory, resulting in overstocking, or a significant portion of the inventory may be old or outdated. Second, average collection period is longer than the previous year. The fact is, the longer average collection period, the longer it takes for debtors to settle their obligations. Next, Receivable turnover ratio was reduced in 2020 due to the company's ineffectiveness in collecting receivables. This resulted from the loose credit policy and insufficient screening when admitting new credit clients. Furthermore, the company also has difficulty in utilizing its total assets, which may result in a lower total asset turnover and decrease of the fixed asset turnover than the previous year. This indicates that the firm is making poor use of its assets and cannot fully utilize it to generate revenue. Lastly, for the market ratio, price-earnings ratio for 2020 declined compared to 2019. It demonstrates that the investor will be less confident to invest in the company share due to the small amount of dividends after determining if a stock is overvalued or undervalued.
In this video, I will be explaining what the company can do to improve its company's performance. We only do a recommendation for activity ratio and market ratio. As for activity ratio, there are inventory turnover, average collection period, account receivable turnover, and fixed assets turnover. As for market ratio, only price earnings ratio that I will be explaining the recommendation. Since the inventory turnover ratio of the company in 2020 was lower than 2019, we will suggesting the company to evaluate their current inventory control system or may change their present method of ordering inventory. Besides, Hiviabot Berhad may cut down on the slow-moving and obsolete inventory by applying the inventory clearance sales. It means that the company can sell the goods at lower price. Regarding to price policy, Hiviabot Berhad must determine each types of product that will be sold and the degree of competition in the industry because it will determine whether the products are price elastic or not. Since the company took 234 days for its receivable to pay back due to the first phase of lockdown, they need to adopt a tighter collection policy where it can be helped by reducing the existing 45 days credit term to 30 days. On the other hand, the company can prepare the aging of their debtors account or do a financial background before giving them a credit sales. Or offering a cash discount can also be implemented to encourage new customers to pay early. A solution that can help in increasing the account receivable turnover ratio is the company need to offer various ways of payment method. Consumers' payment preferences are similar to how some customers prefer to pay in cash while others prefer to converse online. Customers will be able to pay easily if the company offers a variety of payment options. Besides that, they must set follow-up reminders for their clients. Last but not least, we will suggest the Hiviabot Berhad try to increase their production of goods. This will ensure that all the assets are used more efficiently. If the products are demanding, the company should boost its sales volume by revising the firm's selling price, implementing aggressive sales promotions, and providing trade discounts for large-scale purchases. In order to increase the Hiviabot Berhad's price earnings ratio, dividend payments can raise a company's price earning ratios. On the other hand, the company can increase the price earnings ratio by evaluating the company debt. It is because when a company takes on more debt, the price earnings ratio for its share may decline.